What's up, everybody? Barnon11970 here. Thank you for watching my video as always, and I hope you guys enjoyed your day. All right, guys, let's get into some of the statistical numbers of silver. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that will make videos talking about how much silver there is on the planet, and let's be honest. I've checked several different websites. You'll get different information here and there. I tried to find the ones that seem the most realistic, because as much as I love silver, I want to be truthful about this stuff. And I'm not going to be one of those people that is only going to be one-sided. We got to look at every side of this. So from what I understand, and I will post a link on this, the best site that I found was the Silver Institute. They give a report yearly of the world supply of silver, and it's also its demand. Now, it only goes up to 2011, so of course it's going to be a little different because 2012 hasn't been posted yet, but we'll get some kind of a general idea of what's being used and what amounts are being mined each year. So, when it comes to the world silver supply and demand, and this is in millions of ounces, we have for the supply in 2011, we had mine production, net government sales, old scrap silver, and producer hedging, totaled 1,040,6 million ounces. Okay, when it comes to the demand, and again, this is for the year, which includes industrial applications, photography, jewelry, silverware, coins and metals. The total that's consumed and used is 876,600,000 ounces. So you're talking about each year, and of course it's going to vary from year to year. You're talking about for the total of the world of silver production, around 85% of it is being utilized, which doesn't leave them a lot to spare. Now, we have to consider things like, for example, when it comes to industrial applications, there's a lot of times where they will actually combine silver with other metals. They'll fuse them together. Now, because of the fact that it will be actually more expensive to actually try and extract the silver from those other metals, basically that silver is gone. When you talk about things like, for example, your iPad, laptops, your new iPhones, all cell phones for that matter. How many people do you know, and maybe you've done this yourself, where when it's time after a 2-year contract is up and you can upgrade your phone to the latest new gadget, how many people do you know actually will just throw out the phone? Or if you break a laptop, you throw it out. Not many people will actually sit there and think, okay, I have an old laptop here, let me break it open, let me pull out the little bits of silver in it and I'll save it. Now, some people may do that, and some people do that. But the average person out there just has the throwaway mentality, where they'll just throw these things away. And unless you go, dumpster diving, it's pretty much lost at that point. So I'm not saying that's going to wipe silver off the face of the earth or anything. I'm keeping this real. But each year, we end up almost using and utilizing what they produce worldwide. So there are people who make videos that say there's a lot of silver being produced. That's true. But there's also a lot of silver being used. And when you're talking about things like coins and metals, of the 1.40 billion ounces, where is it? Only 118 million of it is being used for coins and metals. That's not a lot of percentage. It's not a high percentage. So this is where we have to think about this. When you are collecting silver eagles and silver maple leafs or philharmonics or, your bars and generic rounds, because of the fact we all watch these videos all the time, we get spoiled because we see this all the time because that's what a lot of people come to my channel for and other people's channels. They like to look at the things and hear about what they're investing in or they're just stacking. That's why you have a title of something called silver porn. Now, if you go by the silver statistics, now this I can only find as high as 2007, so I apologize, but it's fairly recent. If you take the number of ounces produced in the world and divided it by the population, it would average out that every person on the planet would get 6 ounces each. Now, of course, that's in 2007, so it's going to change a little bit. It also depends on how much is mined that particular year and how the population is growing. So let's just be on the safer side, and let's add 4 more ounces So you're saying that the average person on the planet would have 10 ounces of silver, and that's all the silver, which means there would be no more production for the industry. There would be no more jewelry. There would be no more silverware, no more use for photography, no more water filtration, all of this stuff. So you're talking about the world's production of silver for the year would amount to between, let's put it this way, between 6 and 10 ounces of silver. That's not a lot. Now, if you type in the word in YouTube, silver porn, you will see hundreds of videos of people who have plenty more than 10 ounces of silver, which means with all the people that have hundreds, if not thousands of ounces of silver, that takes away from the world's population of how much they can get. So this is coming from a situation where the economy hasn't collapsed. You know, we haven't gotten to that point yet. The dollar is still holding ground. It's still on life support. But when it goes, people are going to have to go to something for value. You are no longer going to go to a paper currency. You're not going to go to the euro, because even if it survives past the dollar, because the world relies on the dollar as the world currency, it's going to affect all other currencies. So it's like having several ships sinking. One may sink faster than the other. If you hop on the other boat, guess what? You're staying alive a little bit longer. People will go to precious metals. And if you go by the amount of the world supply and how limited the amount is for people for the coins and bullions and rounds, and the average person would have to have 6 to 10 ounces, excuse me, I was about to yawn, and plenty of people out there have more than that, it's going to be a lot harder for people to get. And remember, guys, we are spoiled with this because we watch these videos all the time. We're surrounded by silver because people come to my channel and other people's channels to watch what's going on. So you're informed about this stuff. Knowledge is power. So the average person out there really doesn't know about gold and silver. So when it comes to the point where they start noticing that, wow, the stock market crashed and the economy's crashing and the dollar is becoming less and less valuable, I need to get to something. And of course, that's when the news and the mainstream media will talk about gold and silver. And by that time, the prices will skyrocket. Now, of course, I don't guarantee this stuff, but I'm also not one of those people that sits there and says, oh, silver's going to $10,000 an ounce. Silver is going to make you retire a wealthy person. And we have to go to both sides. Yes, there is a lot of silver on the planet. There's a lot of silver being mined. There's still plenty of silver to be mined. But we also have to take into consideration how much of it is being used, how much of it is actually going to be gone forever. Not all of it is utilized. And when we combine it for industrial uses with other metals, it's no longer silver, and it's too expensive to extract it, so that's gone. And when it comes to, like I said, with laptops and iPads and iPhones, most people tend to just throw them out. So if you want to go to some landfill and go digging for old phones, you'll probably find a couple of grams of silver. No, most people are just not going to do that. So I'm going to end this video before it cuts off again, and I want people to know, just think long term. And be careful who you're watching, because if you watch videos where they only stay in one particular way and never want to hear the other side, that's somebody or somebodies you want to stay away from. And I know so many people think I'm just talking about one person. Trust me, I'm not. There are plenty of people out there that talk about silver on my channel alone, and I'll make videos all over the place where they have the similar kind of ideals. I love silver. I know what it's going to do in the future. But I'm not one of those people that's unrealistic, because trust me, if I really started researching deeper and all of a sudden found something that really told me that silver is no longer a good buy, first of all, I'm not going to buy it anymore. And second of all, I'm not going to make any more videos promoting it. And third of all, I'm going to make videos telling people what I found. So keep that in mind, guys. I have no agenda here. I'm not some person with trillions of dollars invested in silver hoping that if I talk about it enough, it will create a buzz and I'll become wealthy. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to write a book. I'm here to just try and talk about things that we all have a passion about. Some people may not like it. Just don't watch. But like I said, I'm going to post a link on these 2 videos, and you could take your own conclusions from the way you want from it. But, like I said, guys, if you are stacking silver for the potential collapse, of the US dollar and the economy, and you want this as a protection, then you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't let other people change your mind. And on the other end of it, don't let my videos influence you to do something you may not be ready for or you may not be knowledgeable about. Make sure you research things. Be your own person. Don't just be a follower. You can get information from people, but don't use anybody's, including my own, as gospel. Do your own research, make your own opinions about things, and then you realize that you're ultimately responsible for what you do and don't do. If you spend your whole life only doing what other people tell you, then you could put yourself in some very bad situations, because I can't make any guarantees, just like anybody else making videos can never make any guarantees. There's nothing guaranteed in life as far as when it comes to stuff like this. So if you have the passion, if you have the knowledge, use this information to help steer you in a direction that you want to follow. But don't just take anybody's word for it. Doesn't mean they're lying, but they, like you've seen in videos that I've done in the past, sometimes you can get wrong information. Sometimes you can get research that ends up not being as accurate as you thought it was. I'm not the type of person that goes around lying about stuff. That's just, why would I bother doing that? So be careful who you watch. Be careful about the information that you receive. Whether it resonates with you or not, always research. All right, guys, I had to learn that the hard way after a long period of time. And I'm still sticking with silver. I've been still researching it. I know about the numbers and everything like that. But trust me when I say, I believe that silver is going to be very rewarding for us protection-wise in the future. Because unless you believe in the government and its honesty and its integrity and its ability to save the economy, what would you want to invest in? And remember, guys, when it comes to things like property, as great as it can be, keep in mind that the government can take anything in the United States of America Corporation it wants. They have to compensate you. So as much as you might think your properties are worthwhile, unless you turn around and sell them really quick, if there's some kind of major catastrophe and there's a collapse in the system, governments can confiscate your land, whether you say you own it outright or not. They have it in the law that they're allowed to do it. They just have to compensate you. Do you want to end up being risked to having that chance happen and them giving you a bunch of worthless fiat dollars to compensate you? Because they're definitely not going to give you gold, and they're definitely not going to give you silver. So when it comes to confiscations, it's a hell of a lot easier to hide a couple of coins in a couple of bars than it is a 12-acre property. All right, guys, keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Always leave your comments, and have a good day. Peace.